The home family stays because the father, Ernest, thinks plants will grow again if they could get some water. He remembers when the land was green, but his son Jerome doesn't. One day two thieves try to break into a small building in Ernest's farm by burning down the lock. Ernest catches them red-handed and he opens fire, causing one of the thieves to try to shoot back. He immediately gets killed. Andy, the second thief, asks for mercy as he explains someone told him there was water, sir. He also claims he needs to pee. Andy reaches for his pants, but Ernest sees the gun and he shoots him first. Jerome sees all this from afar. Andy claims he could have helped, but Ernest just tells him to call him Dad instead of his first name. Then Ernest unlocks the small building, revealing a pump. Unfortunately, it doesn't give them any water, so they'll have to force their mule to keep going without drinking. The duo keeps going. Andy meets the watermen, a group of people who hold a monopoly to distribute water extracted from deep wells through a government deal. Ernest gives them supplies. Andy, the men, pay him with water. He also reminds Jerome not to anger these guys, because they're dangerous. They must only do the third thing. Andy quickly leaves. Ernest often tries to convince them to provide water for his farm, but the watermen charge too much. On their way home, their mule falls and Andy gets severely wounded. Since the animal is in pain, Ernest shoots it to end its suffering. Jerome cries yet swears he could have done it. When they finally arrive at the farm, Jerome's sister Mary serves them rice. Then she scrubs the dishes with soil, while Ernest listens to the radio. Andy, Jerome sketches animals, which are their only hobbies. Suddenly Ernest hears a noise. Andy rushes outside to discover Mary has sneaked out the window to meet with her secret boyfriend. The next day, Jerome, Andy, Ernest go to Sam's auction house. Andy bid on a robot known as Simulate Shadow, or Sim, to replace their mule. Sam's son, Flem, bids as well. Andy fights them to the very end, but Ernest wins the auction. Andy instead gets worse. Afterward, they go to the hospital to visit the kid's mom, Catherine, who can't walk because she was in an accident. The hospital has a special machine that connects her to a wire to help her walk. Andy, the only way for the family to get Catherine home would be buying that expensive machine. After a lovely afternoon with Catherine, the duo goes home on the road. They see Robbie and Andy sweats with their baby. Ernest calls them vultures for using their kid as a pity cat to get handouts. Andy drives away to ignore them. They get to the gas station. Andy, after filling the tank, Ernest drinks a bit to round up the price. Then he takes some water back to Robbie and his family. The couple has been thinking about selling the baby because they can't afford to raise him, but Ernest advises them against it. Andy promises to help them with the water. Later at the farm, Flem shows up at the farm, revealing to be Mary's secret boyfriend. He asks to borrow some. Andy promises to pay a rent fee, but Ernest refuses unless some signs are guaranteed. Flem gets offended. Andy tells Ernest he'll never irrigate this land before leaving. The next time Jerome, Andy, Ernest meet the watermen, they make good time thanks to Simon. Ernest starts talking the guys into considering an offer for putting a water line in his farm afterward. Ernest starts digging out his old pump so that the watermen can check what they have. While working, he tells Jerome he needs to get outside Andy meet a girl, or at least make some friends, but Jerome would rather take care of his family. On their way home, they see Flem drive by at great speed. At the farm, Mary washes the clothes by putting a cleaning agent in the vacuum cleaner. Ernest arrives. Andy forbids her from going out anymore, causing Mary to lash out. Andy says she's old enough to do whatever she wants. As Ernest swears he only wants to protect her, Mary says he hates her dad. Andy loves Flem. Then she tries to run away. She bumps into Jerome. Andy asks him for money, giving Ernest time to catch up to her. Andy stop her. Mary cries as she claims Ernest failed their family. Then he locks her up. Andy nails her window shut. Sometime later, Ernest and Jerome wake up to discover some has been stolen. Ernest assumes it was Flem. Andy goes to his house, but he learns from Sam that Flem left on a trek that morning for the mountains. It's revealed that Ernest's farm used to belong to Sam. Andy, Flem is obsessed with what his family has lost, even though Sam thinks that land is infertile. Andy, water won't help afterward. Ernest goes to the mountains to investigate. Andy, he's suddenly knocked out. In the evening, Ernest wakes up at the waterman's camp, where he's accused of having stolen their supplies. Using Sim, Ernest insists that he didn't do it. But the leader, Caleb, attacks him. A fight ensues. Andy, after lots of struggle, Ernest manages to steal Caleb's knife and a rifle, which he shoots in the air to keep everyone back. He runs away while Caleb continues to yell threats at him. On his way home, Ernest finds Flem sleeping by the fire and Sim nearby. He stole the machine and the supplies to make Ernest look bad. Ernest waits until morning to wake him up with a rifle on his face, then he ties Flem to Sim, who is carrying the supplies. As they walk under the hot sun to find the waterman, Flem keeps taunting Ernest by talking about Mary, so Ernest pulls the rope to make him fall as punishment. Eventually they're both too thirsty to survive for long, and Flem convinces Ernest to stop for a drink. The supplies have alcohol, not water, and soon Ernest is getting drunk. Because of his addiction, Flem